Lyra Hale had learned long ago that survival on Station Karis meant keeping your head down and your hands busy. The orbital platform housed over 40 species, most of whom viewed humans as oddly fragile curiosities. She worked maintenance in Section 7, where the Vrakai pack had taken residence after fleeing their war-torn homeworld. The Vrakai were massive, lupine creatures standing nearly 8 feet tall when upright. Their fur ranged from deep obsidian to storm cloud gray, and their amber eyes missed nothing. To most station residents, they were terrifying. To Lyra, they were simply neighbors who happened to have claws. She had been passing through the communal area when she noticed it. A small bed frame, barely 2 feet long, lying broken near the children's corner. One of the Vrakai cubs, no more than 3 cycles old, sat beside it whimpering softly. The cub's parents were likely on shift work, and the other adults were too large to notice such a small disaster. Lyra knelt down, her toolkit already in hand. The frame was simple wood, carved with intricate pack symbols. The joint had simply come loose, weakened by enthusiastic play. She could fix this. The cub watched her with wide golden eyes as she worked, carefully realigning the joint and applying a dab of industrial adhesive from her kit. She reinforced it with a small bracket from her spare parts, then tested the frame. Solid. The cub's tail began wagging immediately. "There you go, little one," Lyra said softly, setting the bed back in place. The cub chirped happily, circling 3 times before curling up in the repaired bed, already half asleep. Lyra stood, brushed off her knees, and left. It had taken maybe 10 minutes. Just another small repair in a long day of maintenance work. She thought nothing more of it. 3 days later, Lyra returned to her quarters after a double shift to find her door surrounded by Vrakai. Not just a few. At least 20 pack members stood in the corridor, and at their center was Alpha Dornak himself. The pack leader was a mountain of midnight fur and battle scars, his presence commanding enough that even the station's security gave him a wide berth. His ears swiveled toward her as she approached, and the entire pack turned as one. "Lyra Hale." Dornak's voice rumbled like distant thunder. "You are needed." Her heart hammered. Had she done something wrong? Violated some pack protocol she didn't know about? Yes, Alpha," she managed. "Your den," he said simply, gesturing to her door. Lyra blinked. "My quarters? They're standard station issue. But they're fine." "No." Dornak's tone left no room for argument. "You repaired Kessa's sleeping place. You asked for nothing. Expected nothing. You simply fixed it." He tilted his massive head. "The pack does not forget debts of care." Before Lyra could protest, 2 Vrakai gently but firmly guided her away from her door. "We require 6 hours, Dornak informed her. "You will wait in the communal den. There is food, rest, but I don't understand." "You will," Dornak said, and something that might have been amusement flickered in his amber eyes. 6 hours later, when they finally allowed her to return, Lyra stood frozen in her doorway. Her quarters were unrecognizable. The standard issue metal walls had been covered in sound-dampening panels that absorbed the station's constant mechanical hum. The harsh overhead lighting was gone, replaced by soft bioluminescent strips that could be adjusted for color and intensity. Her thin sleeping mat had been replaced with what appeared to be a custom-engineered bed that conformed to human spinal structure, covered in temperature-regulating fabric. The kitchenette had been expanded and reorganized with equipment that actually fit human proportions. Storage units lined the walls, each labeled in both standard and human English. A small hydroponics box sat in the corner, already sprouting herbs she recognized from Earth, but it was the details that made her throat tighten. Someone had programmed the environmental controls to cycle through Earth standard seasons. A small wooden shelf held her few personal items, now arranged with obvious care. The walls displayed rotating images from Earth's nature preserves, something she hadn't seen in 2 years, and in the center of her new desk sat the small bracket she'd used to fix the cub's bed, now mounted on a wooden plaque with Vrakai pack symbols burned into the edges. Dornak stood in the corner, arms crossed, watching her reaction with those unnervingly intelligent eyes. Lyra couldn't find words. "This is too much." I just fixed a small bed. It took 10 minutes. You saw a pack member in distress and acted without hesitation, Dornak replied. You asked for nothing in return. Your den was insufficient for one who shows such care. He stepped forward, and despite his size, his movement was gentle. Humans confuse me, Lyra Hale. Your species is fragile. You have no claws, no natural armor. Yet you cross the galaxy and live among predators without fear. We're afraid, Lyra admitted quietly. We're just good at hiding it. Dornak made a sound that might have been a laugh. Then you are braver than most give you credit for. He gestured to the room. The pack takes care of its own. You showed pack behavior. Therefore, you are pack. Lyra felt tears prickling her eyes. 2 years on this station, and she'd never felt like she belonged anywhere. I don't know what to say. Say you will continue being who you are, Dornak replied. Say you will allow us to do the same. The pack repays its debts. Lyra Hale, always excessively. The Alpha's scarred muzzle pulled back in what she now recognized as a Vrakai smile. It is our way. As Dornak and the others filed out, the small cub, Kessa, darted in and pressed something into Lyra's hand before scampering away. It was a small, carved wooden figure. A human. And a Vrakai cub. Sleeping side by side, Lyra closed her door and stood in her transformed quarters, turning the carving over in her hands. She'd fixed a bed because it needed fixing, because a child was sad, because it was the right thing to do, and an entire pack had rebuilt her world in return. Perhaps, she thought, humans weren't the only ones who understood excessive kindness. Outside her door, she could hear the pack settling in for the evening, their low rumbles and gentle growls creating a symphony of safety. For the first time since leaving Earth, Lyra Hale felt like she was home. The pack had spoken. She was one of them now, and they would always have her back.